I'm sad to report that in every single leading economic category, Black America has lost ground over the last decade. In every major economic category, we've lost ground. Over these last 10 years, most of that on his watch, Black America has lost ground in the major economic indicator categories. In the era of the first Black president, the bottom fell out for Black America. That's because we got so caught up in the symbolism that we didn't press hard enough on the substance. And so symbolism does matter. I just think substance matters as well. And so there was too much deference in some part to the president on the part of Black people. Black leaders were sidelined and silenced too often in favor of an invitation to the White House. And so more could have been done in terms of pressing an agenda. You look at the gay and lesbian community, look at the environmental movement. Of course, Wall Street gets everything they want, but look at what other communities gained over the last decade, and look how Black America wasn't just stagnant, but indeed lost ground. Did Barack Obama not get enough done on Black issues because he was obstructed, or did he not try hard enough? Did he not do enough?
For a while, I've been wanting to do a video on Barack Obama. And I know when I start talking about Barack Obama, you can step on a few toes. Don't really care. Obama is about agendas and whoever paid his pocket contributing to his campaign. He pay attention to that. You say he talk about the gays and their issues and agenda. Well, gays have a collective that came together. This is why they have gained so much traction under the president, Barack Obama. They put money into his campaign and demand he talk about their issues. The Latino community as well. They did the exact same thing. That's why he's talking about immigration. Corporate America did the same thing. This is why he bailed them out. This is why he constantly look out for them. And when it comes to the Black community, you have no lobbyists at all. Every time Black folks try to get together, there's many factors that break that apart. Then you have outside influence that wants to come in and try to break apart Black people getting together. Because see, they don't want to see the togetherness of the civil rights movement ever again in this country. And they'll make sure they don't see it. And how they do that is they use civil rights leaders that they can get in their back pocket and these preachers. There's their mouthpieces to corrupt. Because you can corrupt the civil rights leader and you can corrupt the preacher, then you got the people. But a lot of Black people unknowingly support this guy based off of he looks like them. He has a Kenyan father that's not a descendant of a slave, and he has a white mother. His Kenyan father was not in his life. He was raised by his mother and his grandmother. In his mindset, he may kind of look like a light-skinned Black man, and he may have the features of Black people, but in his mindset, he's no different than a white man because he was raised with white people. How can he think like we think, who was raised with Black parents, Black community issues, all the dealings that we have as Black people in this nation? He really can't relate. Have the racism stopped since he's been in office? No. Actually, the racism has increased a little bit ever since he's been in office. Have you noticed that? Has it stopped the police from harassing you or brutalizing you? No. Has it stopped these judges from giving unfair sentences to Black men? No, it haven't. Obama's not going to do nothing about any of that. You know why? Because he really don't care about Black folks like that. When you try to tell him you're the first Black president, what did he say? No, I'm the president of America. Any other group would have took that with pride. But him, oh no, because he don't want no association with Black folks. Understand that. Unemployed more and longer. Remember we said Barack Obama gonna help us get some jobs? Where's the jobs at? A lot of you voted for him. But the facts don't bear out. Before I talk, I give the man a chance. I know your first 4 years you can't really do a whole lot. But this man has had enough time to address things. He refused to address anything that really affect everybody. Okay? Let's talk about something. Let's talk about street gangs, gang life, whatever, thug life. It's a simple thing to fix that. All he has to do is say this: I'm sick and tired of the killing, and I know these organizations are a part of it. And if he would deem street gangs as domestic terrorist groups and put on blast every single name that's on the list is now deemed domestic terrorist, and tell them, listen, you got a certain time period to get out. After this time period, we see you, we arresting you on terrorism charges, period. Very simple fix. People would love him for doing that, okay? You talk about the deficit. You talk about money that can help everybody. It's a simple fix with that too. Stop giving away free money to these foreigners every month like you're doing. You're giving all these different foreign countries millions of dollars that you don't have. Cut them off, say, listen, sorry, I can't help you. You got to deal with your own problem. Nobody's coming over here and giving us money. So deal with your own problems, so I fix the problems here. Stop policing the world. If they got a problem, let them handle their problem. Period. Get our people out of the wars, bring them all home, and say, look, if anybody attack us, we're going to attack you back tenfold. But from now on, we're going to act like other countries and just mind our business. From now on. That's simple. They will cut out all this military spending. They will bring a lot of money back. You can get at corporate America about outsourcing all these jobs to China and Mexico, to manufacturing jobs. Or you need manufacturing jobs in the United States to put a lot of these people back to work. You can do that simply by tax incentives for these companies. You can go so far, deep in the rate of this country is you need to take a drastic approach. Like, for instance, you go to a company like Apple, who's very popular, and people buy their stuff, and say, listen, if you put so many manufacturing plants in the United States and so many jobs, we will give you free year of taxes for doing that to help the American economy.
I just think about how disappointed you have to be. Like, as black people, here we are back again with Clinton. And think about, we came out for this guy. We did all this stuff for this guy. We was like, he's on our team. We're going to be here for him. He didn't do us anything, and he gave us back the woman that we were trying to get rid of in the first place. Well, when did you know the gig was up with Obama? When did you know that black people were just kind of out in the cold? When the Clinton team's guy, was selected as chief of staff, I knew it was over. I knew it was over for Obama doing anything for black people. I knew it was over in terms of him having any power, because he didn't show the courage to kind of bring in his own people, build his own team, and kind of say, listen, I'm going to thrive, or I'm going to fail with my team. I'm going to do it with my team. The only thing he really achieved was Obamacare, which doesn't do anything in terms of helping most working poor people who can't afford healthcare. This was more of a leg up for insurance companies, because it gave them a bailout. So, and now here this guy is, like 7-8 years later, saying, you got to vote for Hillary Clinton. She's the best candidate. She's the trustworthy candidate. I mean, it's kind of like a joke. And he's now Team Hillary. And you have to even think about all the people who jumped ship and say, I want to see a change. I don't want to see another Clinton. I want to put Barack Obama in the White House. This is going to signal something big. And it was nothing. Like, his presidency was nothing. Like, I mean, he doesn't have anything to really tap into. He doesn't really have a Rolodex. He didn't build anything for himself. So he needs the Clintons. But the Clintons are getting billions and billions of dollars. So I'm sure there's a part of Obama that probably wants to tap into that. Who knows? But it's just, when you think of everything that black people went through to get this guy elected, to just end up back here in this same spot. Think about, was Barack Obama lying back then, or is Barack Obama lying now? And I think Barack Obama's lying now because he needs to do what he's doing right now for himself. And this presidency has always been about him. It's never really been about us. Except for the times that he could use who we are to kind of say, I'm not like those other black people. That's not who I am. And in a sense, it's really kind of not who he is. He's not anchored in like this African American history. So he really was never there. We need to take away the fact that and understand that we did get duped.
For those of you who have not seen the Obama Deception, the first particular film, please check it out. Let's understand that the Obama Deception is much, much deeper than being merely an Obama deception. In fact, what it is a continuation of the same old agenda, the same old disempowering, manipulating, and controlling agenda. Now, why was it important? Why was it important that Mr. Hope and Change, Mr. Barack Obama, now known as Drone Man in the year 2013, Obama, why was it important that the power elite push him to be top dog, as it were, or maybe we should actually say top murderer? But anyway, why was it important? Well, it was important because they used this. Pigmentation. Oh, he's black. He's black. He's got to be okay. Excuse me? Think about that. This was used, this is how I often speak of how racism, I call it an introverted, or inverted rather, an inverted racism, where Obama knew full well that he was being installed by the powers that be, whether they be left, or whether they be right, or whether they be liberal, or whatever they want to call themselves. Obama knew full well that his job would be to continue the agenda for the power elite. To continue, and by the way, this power elite is both national and global. It's not just in the United States. In fact, it is a global power elite. It is an elite that I use the term a lot, blood sucks. They're bloodsuckers. You ever think about vampire? Every time I decide to kick back and watch an old movie from the 50s or 60s, and I watch Bela Lugosi come out and play the vampire, I can't help but think of this system. Because they're sucking the blood economically, politically, socially, culturally. They're sucking our blood in that sense. Obama serves as, at this point in time, the number one bloodsucker, or at least in terms of his usefulness, and I put the word usefulness in quotation marks, because he certainly is not useful for everyday black, white, brown, red, and yellow people. He is the antithesis, if you will, the antithesis of the needs, wants, and desires of the people. So let's remember that that deception is a continuation of the deception that started eons ago. But Obama was the right person, in quotation marks, at the right time to continue to dupe the people. That's why you had Republicans coming out, oh yes, Obama. Democrats, oh yes, Obama. Hey folks, whenever you see that, you better stop and think. You better stop and think. Because both of them, Democrats and Republicans, their so-called leadership, and I call it their misleadership, feed from the same corporate, national, and global trough. So the Obama deception is a deception against all of the people, nationally and globally. And I want you to keep that in mind. It's important that we keep that in mind. It's a national and global deception. The wars, the perpetual wars that we have, the perpetual corporate hegemony, and all I mean by corporate hegemony is domination. When we break free of and from the trance that Obama has us in, this Obama trance, then we are capable of breaking free from all of these trances. Because the Obama trance is probably the single most powerful, debilitating one that has yet been brought about. Why is it that we are, in this nation, and in many nations throughout the world for that matter, why are we continuing to find ourselves in a developing de facto police state? Why? I mean, is this just happening, or is it happening by design? I think that when we give it serious thought, we find out that it is, in fact, happening by design. The globalists, those who want to control humanity, have an agenda, and that agenda is to do what? That agenda is to squeeze us in every conceivable manner. Politically, economically, socially, culturally, spiritually even. To squeeze us. That is the global agenda. Now, the beauty is the power. It's people power. It's all of us together. Not us divided, separated, killing each other, in fear of each other. Let's understand who the real terrorists are. The real terrorists really are the global elite. Those who want to keep us in fear, keep us divided. But remember, with all their chicanery, with all of their machinations, with all of their deceit, what it shows is that people, all of us, are truly beginning to awaken. So let's keep on reaching out, teaching. That's the only way that we will not be deceived again.